We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are.
Hey everyone, welcome once again to yet another episode of Two Noobs Talking. It's episode 63, and of course with me, over to my left, is my good buddy John Tracy. John, how you doing tonight, brother?
Little Rob Van Dam thing.
Yeah.
I just watched a documentary about him. He's great.
John, whatever your middle initial is, Tracy.
If you don't know, I'm not telling you.
There you go. Exactly. My name's Matt Craig, of course, and I'm just hanging out here, co-piloting this whole thing. I'm not hosting this whole podcast whatsoever in any event, but happy I'm with you, and hope you're happy you're with us as well. So, John,
welcome aboard, kids.
63 episodes, and it really is amazing when you stop to think about it. We were talking about this in pre-production with Ryan Madsen, who I think wore 62 other uniforms as well. Like all
every number we've ever done, apparently.
He wore 63 for the Phillies back in 2005 and 6 as a young pup coming up through the system.
Good job, Ryan. Being one of my favorite pitchers, he should wear. He's going to be on 67. He's going to be on. No, I'm kidding. No.
Exactly.
He could come back just so he could wear 100, just so we have someone for 100.
Might as well.
Maybe the doctor of the show, since we talk about him all the time. Maybe
all the time. Yeah, he's on the list.
Go in the minor
all the time. But then we also had like Jake Diekman. And I'm not so sure what your thoughts were on him.
I love Jake Diekman.
Did you? Okay. Yeah, I thought he was decent. I thought he was a decent pitcher.
He was a quality innings eater.
Yeah.
Using baseball terms.
Yeah.
It wasn't, he gave up the home run every once in a while, but he also got you out of some tough innings.
Yeah.
During those years. I'm a big fan of Jake Diekman, actually.
There you go. And then on the Eagles side, 63, we have three players, actually. One of them, of course, being Honey Buns.
Yep.
One of the better centers in the league back then, of course, Hank Fraley.
Yep.
Real good player. Jack Driscoll currently wears 63 for the Eagles right now. Of course, that game has been now postponed until Tuesday because the Redskins got the Washington football team got the common cold Omicron variant, John. So there you go. I mean, yeah.
Whole team? I didn't even read the whole thing.
Well, half the team got it. So it's like, they're sneezing all over the place, and, it's pretty bad, apparently.
Sure
so they had to move the game from Sunday to Tuesday.
I'm sure the elitist, whatever the hell his name is, that owns that crappy-ass team, I'm pretty sure he probably pulled some strings with the NFL.
You think? Yeah, you think?
I'm sure Goodell's a racist. He's also probably a shitty human being. So I can't even remember the football team or whatever, the owners that like is it Dan Snyder?
Yeah, it's Dan Snyder.
Okay. Well, he's a piece of shit. So he probably hanging out with Roger, and he was like, we just need to move this because he probably threw a party.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And probably didn't follow any protocol.
No protocols, whatever.
And then follows protocol of testing all these people. Dude,
I looked at the schedule, saw the Eagles, and oh my God, this is a huge game. We got to get healthy for this.
I sent you a funny meme of, I don't know whatever cartoon that is, but it was totally how I feel about the NFL right now. It was like, you need to get your shit together. You need to get a backpack, and you need to get your shit together now. Backpack and just get your shit together. That's what the NFL needs.
That's what the NFL is, exactly. But then you also had you love this player.
Yes.
Back in the Ray Rhodes era, this guy wore 63.
I got tons of Ray Rhodes stories. That's why I love Ray Rhodes.
Let's do it. Raleigh McKenzie wore 63.
I'm
just going to sit back, let you talk. Go ahead.
I could be wrong, but I remember I was a huge. I used to, even as a little kid, I would run to the radio. You know what I mean? Anytime I could, to hear the press conferences or watch them on TV. Like, I was always obsessed with coaches and how they did things. It was just me. I'm weird, but I distinctly remember. I could be wrong though. Ray Rhodes was being questioned about using the shotgun, and I don't even know what quarterback it was.
Okay,
but he blamed Raleigh McKenzie's fat thighs for the reason they didn't do it. And it's one of those stories that just stick in my I can't remember. It might not even be true, but I swear to God, Ray Rhodes said it.
I was just going to say, was that the Bobby Hoying error, maybe? I don't know.
I don't remember, but it was one of the douchebaggy Philadelphia reporters was like, why don't you use the shotgun more? And that was Ray's answer.
Because of Raleigh McKenzie's thighs.
That's Raleigh McKenzie has thick thighs. That's why we don't do it. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that was the gist of the...
Wow. Can you imagine? I mean, just having to snap that ball. Yeah. I mean, through trunks, you know, like tree trunks.
Thighs like that?
That's like, I guess not. That's not going to go through.
Raleigh was built like the prototypical guard center.
Yeah.
He was big up top, but he was way big down bottom.
Oh, yeah.
And he could move somebody if he needed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was a great player, actually.
Yeah, just, I mean, you know, you always feel a sense of sadness for those players that were, you know, the Eagles were kind of getting good, but then they kind of fell off the cliff. And then Andy Reid shows up, and then the complete overhaul. And then, of course, like, the Eagles have been better ever since. But it's like, wow. You know, you just feel kind of bad for players like that.
Ray got the shaft in Philly because I don't think the owner knew what he was doing. Well, he's still the owner, but he didn't know what he was doing. I bet you he would admit that.
Yeah,
he didn't know what he was doing then.
Yeah, I mean, it was his first head coaching hire, really. Yeah. And I mean, to be honest with you, like Ray Rhodes was a really good defensive coordinator. Yeah. Head coach though,
he was wasn't he a defensive backs coach for the Seattle team?
I almost thought that he was with the 49ers a couple years. He
was all over the place for a while.
Yeah.
He's serviceable coach.
Yeah, good dude. Yeah. But yeah, it was like that was his first hire, and it's like, okay, we'll see how this does. Didn't work out. And Andy, of course, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah.
So but John, let's move on to our first topic, as we always do in Two Noobs, diving right in. And this is kind of a very interesting article that we both found here on National Geographic. It's been kind of making its way through social media.
Yeah.
But here, this article was very interesting. Flu survivors still immune after 90 years. So let's think about this. 1918 pandemic hits. You know, it's the worst ever pandemic, flu, blah, 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 blah. Well, they apparently have found some people that have survived, still survive it, and their bodies continue to make antibodies for the 1918 flu. John, I mean, we always want to talk about the science. We're not going to talk about the science, but this is science in action, is it not?
No, this is. I was flabbergasted when you sent this over to me.
Yeah.
I was like, really? Like, I wonder why they're not doing this with COVID. Actually doing the research and you know, putting it together with it. Like, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Why?
Yeah. I mean, that was a devastating historical pandemic. It attacked everybody.
Yep.
It didn't attack anybody with comorbidities, didn't attack the obese, none of that stuff. It attacked everybody. And apparently this virus was so bad that it attacked the immune system of healthy people our age, which we're not going to tell people. Well, we're in the mid-40s, but
speak for yourself.
But
I'm taking on 40.
Well, yeah, well, but they were able to track people down, and it's like it's amazing. The survivors of this pandemic were able to. I mean, the bodies were able to T cells or whatever. Knew what to attack it, and some people were, in fact, strong enough. Those that survived were strong enough to withstand the pandemic, and that they continue to make the antibodies. I would not be surprised if this is happening right now.
It wouldn't shock me. But we're not scientists, but it wouldn't shock me knowing this now, and I think that's probably why National Geographic put it out, to give hope.
Oh yeah.
To give perspective, because now that perspective is allowed to be done because the government has, you know, pulled back the reins a little bit and allows us to do research, which they weren't doing before. We can read now, and we're finding these things. And National Geographic, great job by National Geographic.
Huge.
This is something that And this is what I say. This is what pisses me off about everything about this pandemic.
Lay it on me.
It had nothing to do with the virus. It had everything to do with the corruption around the virus. Because if that article would have been available to all you smart people that listen to us, you would have looked at COVID a different way. And I would have looked at COVID a different way.
Yeah, totally different. I completely agree with you, John. It's like I keep thinking about what we were talking about last week with the U.S. Department of Navy memo with a coffee stain in the upper left-hand corner. Good call by you.
Absolutely.
But that whole thing of just like, this is what you're supposed to do in the pandemic, and like all those like beautifully laid out, like, here's what you should be doing. Keep yourself healthy, keep yourself regular exercise, get good sleep, don't sleep in damp clothing, all that kind of stuff. Like, just common sense approach to all of this. You'll be okay. You'll guarantee maybe not be the best success, but it is a good foundation. Just remember to keep yourself healthy during this time. That was huge. I mean, I can remember like my grandparents were born during that year, 1918-19. Can you imagine being a newborn and then all of a sudden it's like 1918-19? You're in the middle of this huge pandemic. Good Lord Almighty. So it's huge. I mean, I think this is happening. And, Omicron, it's here. But, I mean, for crying out loud, the hysteria, we'll get into that in a little bit in the podcast. We have some data on that.
Oh, we had a great text from Steve, too.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Hilarious. Los Angeles County completely overblowing. I mean, oh my God, it's tripling. It's 1 case to 4, that kind of thing. And therefore, it's tripling. Really?
Oh, it is. We're not going to call them liars.
I guess not. By their math, they are correct, but it is ridiculous to go down this road. But we're not. We'll get to some additional information in regards to that because it's going to be great. That'll probably be a little bit later down the episode. But Johnny, as we turn the corner, we got another one of our very famous, say it with me, Fab 5 updates. And John,
that's not
our buddy, our pal, the Joker,
the Stooge,
the moron.
Yeah.
The prick, whatever you want to call him. Ooh, did I say that out loud? Anyway.
The douche's brother, we'll call him.
Yeah, there you go. He's been ordered to return every single cent of profit that he made off his stupid book.
He'll keep 5 cents or something because he's not much of a criminal. He won't give it all back.
I love this. The New York Post article here, the extraordinary resolution. Really? Was approved by the Joint Commission on Public Ethics in a, now get this, 12-1 vote. Who is that low dissenter? That's what I like to know.
And someone on his payroll.
It had to be, or like some sort of like maybe second or third cousin in there. I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, they run deep.
A month after the ethics agency voted to revoke its prior approval, allowing Cuomo to earn outside income from his book, American Crisis, Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic. That's
which just in case new listeners or anything. So as a government official, you do have to go through an ethics committee to do anything outside of what you are making as a politician. Anything. It's like the legality of the whole thing is that you need to go to you need to go to an outside source so they can tell you whether it's ethical or unethical. Yep. What Cuomo did was unethically get ethical clearance for something that's unethical. That makes any sense.
I'm going to show this really quick on screen on my iPad. Check this out, Johnny. Look at that. Look at that book cover right there. Look at that. Look at that piece of crap. I mean, it's just like that. I mean, we should have a book burning, really, on Two Noobs. I think we should definitely like.
I can write a book, how to hate Chris and Andrew Cuomo. That should be a bestseller, right?
How to? Yeah.
How to?
How to do this?
Just turn on CNN. Used to turn on CNN because. Well, now just hate Chris Wallace because he's going to take over for.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's just add a Chris there, and I'm pretty sure that Chris Wallace is a piece of shit too. So you just fit him right in there.
Yeah, Cuomo's office. This is from the article here. Said earlier that he netted about $1.5 million after taxes and expenses for the book last year, with 1/3 donated to the United Way of New York State. The rest was plowed into an irrevocable trust for his 3 grown daughters. So he basically just pushed that money over here. And
he hit the
go ahead, take this. Here's your blood money.
Hold on to this so they can't review my taxes when I run for president is basically what that was.
Yeah.
But she's never going to run for president because he can't keep his hands off boobs long enough to run for president. So.
As long as he doesn't bend over in the shower, John, I think he'll be all right. You know, that kind of deal. But
hopefully he'll go to jail eventually.
Oh my gosh.
Eventually.
I mean, good on, again, clean up in New York. It's happening. I mean, you got a lunatic governor up there anyway who, you know, declared a state of emergency over Omicron, over the common cold.
I'd rather her being crazy than him
being a scumbag. Yeah,
exactly. Like, because at least
big sip of drink there.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
At least
it's not. Yeah, this corrupt. Yeah, exactly.
We're done with the Cuomos.
Yeah. It's funny we keep finding it, but yeah, we're done with them. But yeah, so let's move on quickly then to our third topic here, Johnny. And this is very interesting. You know, Facebook, I don't know if you've noticed, John, you and I aren't regularly on Facebook all that much. Most of our news sources really come from like Instagram or something along those lines and other articles that we find throughout the day. But Facebook, of course, has been known for the fact-checking, right? You know, you got that. And that's been essentially outed now that they, according to the Federalist.com here, Facebook quietly admits its third-party fact checks are opinions. They're not really fact-checking.
Yep.
So basically, it came out of a legal battle that they're having currently with John Stossel. Yeah.
I had to admit it.
Yeah, John, I give Stossel a lot of credit. He's that former 2020 guy. And, you know, he's one of those, like, rare journalists that actually digs deep. I can remember, I think there was one he did on, like, corruption in, like, some, like, city in New Jersey. I think it might have been Clark, New Jersey. Something like just right outside of New York. And there was, like, all kinds of corruption up and down. And he was, like, literally standing up in front of the city council.
It probably still is.
Yeah, it probably still is too, considering it's a swamp up there. But it literally was like he's up there and he's just like, look, here's the documentation. Can you please, like, answer these questions? And they're like talking about, I'm not really sure. But, you know, they're kind of whispering back and forth. We're not going to answer these questions. Fifth Amendment, you know, that kind of deal. So it was like, good on John Stossel, you know, for doing this. I know it's going through legal hell, but what are your thoughts on this, Johnny? Real quick.
You have to fight Facebook in this, but this is what guys like Zuckerberg do. This is why Dorsey stepped down, because he didn't want to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
He was done playing this game because people were actually asking him questions.
Mm-hmm.
Good on that alien-looking Zuckerberg that he's still fighting this. Yeah. But yeah, they're going to admit all of it. They're going to admit that they're completely full of shit.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
They are completely full of shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you start to
they're
think
like doing this for protection. They're doing it because they want to control the narrative.
Yeah.
That's the sole reason Zuckerberg exists.
It's such a shame too, because again, like, I think back to when Facebook was first launched, and it was it was a genuine social media site.
Yeah, but social media doesn't exist anymore now.
I think not. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, at this point, like it's all about the narrative. Facebook puts out whatever they want to put out, and they block whatever they don't want to. Instagram does it. Twitter does it. Snapchat's only for pictures that you can't send on Facebook. There's so much. Even the right wing stuff, the Telegram and the
Gab and
like there's nowhere to hide on the internet. The internet is corrupt. The only thing that can happen that will make social media even remotely better is repealing Section 230.
Yeah.
And the fact that the media stopped talking about it is the reason this is all happening.
Yeah.
It needs to be repealed, and it needs to be repealed now. It isn't an argument at this point.
Yeah.
It is the worst thing in the world. They harbor whatever they want. There are terrorist groups on Twitter.
Yeah. And that's got to stop. That's got to stop. And you stop to think about that. You know, how many, like, other supremacists, let's just face it, that are out there.
Easy harbor, because guess what? They're not going to monitor them because they can't get sued. So why do they care?
Yeah.
Why do they care what's happening?
Yeah. If you take that protection, you're right. If you take that protection away.
But that's the interesting part. They do care about American politics, but they don't care about anything else because they can't get sued. Why do they care so much about American politics? You can really, if you really look at Facebook not on the friends you have and the enjoyment you have there, if you look at it on a business model, it's a piece of trash.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yeah. It's mostly driven by ads, but yeah, it's like whatever, whatever it fits to the algorithm.
It's friend, sponsor, ad, friend, sponsor, ad, friend.
Yeah. Doesn't
help. The only people they let you see are people that you like the post of the day before.
Yeah. And depending on the number of likes, loves, whatever you need to make, it tailors that algorithm, and it's kind of like...
it's bullshit.
It is. It is.
They would actually do... Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all those other... The other... Like, YouTube's weird, but it's a great site for... a lot of things, so I'm not really going to trash it. And plus, it hosts us because we can't upload to Rumble, so fuck them.
Yeah, that was a while back. My God, that was like almost like when we were doing like episode 30, 32 or something like that, Johnny.
They don't like that. We don't like the right wing, so
I guess not. Yeah, must be difficult to do, I guess.
Yeah,
but in any event, yeah. I mean, it's like I think you're right. I offended
Republicans. It's not the first time in my life.
You know, it's amazing. I think you're right, though. The repeal of 230, you get rid of that. You allow people... That's going to really throw a wrench. And if anything, it's going to stop the nonsense. I couldn't agree with you more, Johnny, on that.
Nobody has to read the long diatribe bullshit I've already had. It's very simple. If you repeal it, you can literally sue Facebook or Twitter or for defamation of character if someone were to come after you.
Oh,
if
that's
they
a game
were
changer right there.
If they were to put you in Facebook jail because you didn't post an unpopular opinion, you could sue them.
Yeah,
they would start stopping doing the Facebook jail because I know it's a kitschy, cute little everybody's ha ha ha. I was in Facebook jail.
Yeah. Where's my profile badge?
It's censorship at its finest.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and that is not in a free society. If we're spinning this really forward, let's talk about that, right? We're talking about free speech, First Amendment, right? Everybody has the liberty and the right to an opinion, to express their opinion.
Just say whatever bullshit you want to talk about.
Say whatever you want, right. The situation here, though, is that you've got an administrative state in the form of Facebook saying, no, you cannot state your opinion.
Yes.
Because then it's like, by allowing people to express their own opinion, people can agree with you and people can and choose to disagree with you. Yes. That kind of a thing.
In this.
And that's what we need to get back to, ultimately, I think.
I made a very valid point to my wife today over dinner. And I want to bring it up because it's exactly what we're talking about. I talked about how this podcast has changed my personality a little bit, and how me and Matt, if you actually know me and Matt like Steve does, like bring it into like the inner circle of what Two Noobs is.
Yeah.
Me and Matt.
By the way, it's my fault that I've unleashed your personality, but go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like me and Matt don't agree on everything.
No.
We just don't sit there and harp on shit that we disagree on.
Exactly.
We harp on the stuff we agree on and we like-minded and we challenge each other.
Yeah.
But we don't sit there and it's not an argument because we do disagree on things. Same thing with Steve. Like Steve has an entire different set of values that we do.
I love it.
Not wrong, but it's so perfect to bring that together and it's awesome. Facebook doesn't allow that. That's why we started our own
That's why we started a podcast, yeah.
The standard bearer of Two Noobs is because we couldn't sit on a platform and talk about real life.
Yeah. And I think too, you could even spin this forward, Johnny. I think there is an underground movement coming.
I think there's a huge one, yeah.
Where you're starting to see like, hey, we can't continue down. You can't administrate state this to death all the time. I'm talking COVID. I'm talking free speech, whatever the case may be. There's a certain point where you have to allow people to get it out there. But then it's like, okay, if you make an opinion, let's just say that's really harmful, then it's like you've got some people that can speak truth into that person's life if they know them personally. And say, hey, dude, come on.
But that's where fact checking comes in.
That's where fact checking comes in.
If I'm running on Facebook, and this is a clear example. If I'm running all over Facebook talking about how I know everything about this space launch and how they can't go moon to Mars and they can't do this because of this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and everything I'm saying is not factual.
Yeah.
Then I should be kicked off the platform. But this is the whole reason that I learned everything about 230 is I got booted off of Facebook because I played a video from Pitbull.
I remember that.
Talking about an actual event that happened, and they were saying he was wrong.
Yeah.
But the actual event actually happened.
But in that case, in that instance, and this is such a great example, I'm glad you brought that up, Johnny.
In
that instance, someone else's opinion was higher than yours and said, well, this person's wrong, therefore I'm going to put this person in Facebook jail.
But that was the thing that I was like, wait a minute, can that actually happen in the Constitution and in the well, obviously in the Facebook guidelines, it can happen. They can do whatever they want.
But in the Constitution, no. Yeah.
No, but that's where that all came from. If you're new to the
I remember
channel.
That. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Literally, I was jailed from Facebook because Pitbull, the rapper, who's a pretty smart guy, you should listen to him, was talking about a literal study.
Yeah.
It was called Event.
What was
something.
that?
Can't even remember.
It was Event 201 or something like that. That's kind of bringing a bell. Yeah.
Event 201, which was
I think that's
a pandemic exercise. And he was referencing it in a video with a bunch of dudes, talking about this pandemic. Yeah. But he referenced it because he's smart.
Yeah.
I did the research, found out it was an actual physical thing. It was an
actual event. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was Facebook jailed for posting a video of someone else bringing up something that happened.
Isn't that amazing?
That's how bizarre.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. It's amazing. It really is shocking. But yeah, that was our thoughts on this. And I mean, I credit Stossel. I mean, like I said, going through legal hell isn't a lot of fun unless you're Steve Murray. It's not a lot of fun for a lot of people on our side of the aisle, Johnny. But
he's so damn smart. He doesn't go through legal hell. I'm pretty sure he walks in that courtroom and he just takes over.
He just takes over. But I will say this though, this needed to get out. Mm-hmm. Really, it needed to, and it was. I think it was permeating throughout a lot of people.
Well, it's still going.
Who is fact checking the fact checkers?
Nobody.
Well, no one was because all the fact checkers had their own opinion. Thank you very much.
But if you repeal 230, guess who's going to be fact checking the fact checkers? Fact checkers and fact checkers and fact checkers and fact checkers, and it's going to cost Zuckerberg a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
to get stuff in line,
which
and
we
you're going to have a more enjoyable time on Facebook.
Absolutely,
if that happened because he'd be doing his damn job and creating a platform.
Oh yeah,
that would make people happy and not angry all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You look like an angry.
He is really looking.
I hate you, Zuckerberg.
I'm telling you. Ooh, wow.
I want to beat you with Spotify.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Let's talk a little Omicron, shall we? Topic 4 here. Let's just dive right into this because
that was a Freudian slip. I didn't. I apologize.
This is absolutely crazy what is happening right now. The amount of hysterical nonsense that is happening.
And disinformation and deleting and craziness.
This is really unbelievable because prior to us going on, I, of course, pre-production, I told you, Eagles game's been pushed to Tuesday because the Washington football team, otherwise known as the Redskins, all had the common cold, all had this Omicron variant pop up. Half of the roster has it, so the NFL had to change its protocols to allow players to get back into, back onto the roster to play.
Two of my favorites, Darius Slay and Rodney McLeod, two of my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Totally put out a tweet. We'll throw one up here and one up here. Rodney McLeod was "make this make sense," which was great. Yeah. And Slay, I'm only quoting because I don't remember it, but he was pretty much like, "This is BS."
Yeah,
they should have forfeited. Like that, isn't that sports?
Pretty much, yeah. Like if you can't field a team, that should be an ultimate.
Why are we?
Yeah, and we're coming off the bye. I mean, come on. But this is very, very interesting because we have this article here from ZeroHedge.com. We got a pair of them.
Yep.
ZeroHedge.com. TV show mysteriously deletes poll after vast majority oppose mandatory vaccination.
Which is so hilarious because wasn't it like a 90-10 or something like that?
It was 89% to 11, but 90-10. We'll round up. What the hell? We'll round up. Major television show in the UK, Good Morning Britain, which sounds really cheesy, deleted a Twitter poll asking if vaccines should be made mandatory, because they are also dealing with Omicron right now. Premier Leagues had to have a little bit, their soccer league over there has had to readjust some of their schedules. With Omicron cases doubling every 2 days, is it time to make vaccines mandatory? 89% said no, and they deleted the poll. Yeah. And it's funny because one person then wrote back, "Hey, IGMB, why did you delete this poll after deleting it?"
I would love to see the thing that made me angry about it, and literally made me angry about it when you sent me the article.
Doesn't fit the narrative.
They deleted because it didn't fit the narrative. I would have liked to actually seen.
Yeah.
Just because it was heavy, and this is my problem. Just because it was heavy in the beginning doesn't mean you should delete it. Let's see where it goes. Let's put it up for 24 hours. Should be a Twitter poll should be 24 hours.
This was.
You shouldn't be allowed to delete a Twitter poll. If you were dumb enough to think about it, it should last 24 hours.
Let's just throw it up here on screen, Johnny, and I'll just tell you on the benefit for you. The votes, there were 41,000 votes that were taken, and the poll was basically 20 hours, 6 minutes left. So I think it was probably 4 hours in.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It's got to be
for the poll.
Yeah. You can't.
And then you delete it? Well, that's kind of fishy. That's kind of like, well, what the heck's going on there?
That's fishy that Twitter allows you to delete a poll.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially again,
I could say some damnedest things on Twitter and they won't let me delete it, but they let them delete the poll. That's it.
That doesn't fit the narrative. And then this one was very interesting. A Business Insider article that you forwarded to me. This was in.
By the way, that was Matt's underhanded way of blaming me for this.
Yes, because I am going to blame.
That's all the hate to come to me.
Only 1 in 43 known Omicron cases in the United States has been hospitalized.
Yep.
CDC says. Almost all the rest had mild symptoms like coughing and fatigue.
Yeah.
Does that not sound familiar? When you go through a coronavirus, your body fights it. Let's take a step back. Your body fights the disease. You get tired. You get expelled, your body then restores it back up to normal. I have to say this, John, because literally, we have to reteach ourselves. This is what an immune system does. That kind of a thing. Nearly all the other 42 cases featured mild symptoms. Most common being coughing, congestion, fatigue, according to the CDC director herself.
Exactly. And that's I mean, I'm not a doctor, but it's allergy, it's flu season, it's cold season, it's getting cold. And you said COVID's becoming a Northeast problem, which I totally agree with you. That's probably the best quote I've ever heard, because where do you get, I remember living on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just to your point. I remember living on the East Coast. I was sick probably 3 or 4 times more than I am living in the South.
Yeah, kind of like clockwork, right? I mean, it was almost like you knew you were going to get sick in the fall because leaves were changing, and then of course, like everybody's around each other, huddled, whatever the case may be, and no surprise, people were sick.
Everything's also together in the Northeast. That's why I think it's such a great point, because cities are a little closer and everything's. I live in a more wide open area.
Yeah.
The worst thing I deal with on a daily basis is allergies.
Yeah.
Because COVID doesn't survive wide open spaces at all.
I can only think of like people in Florida, in Georgia, in South Carolina, and in all the South, in Texas, where you are, and it's like you're like looking around, kind of going like, "What pandemic?"
So open, yeah. That's
yeah.
Well, like, you're seeing it. You're seeing it right now. It not even. I saw some bullshit article that came out that was like, oh, the cases are so high, blah 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 of the Omicron, and then they brought back the Delta variant that they were telling you that the vaccine's killed. So they're bringing Delta back now.
Yeah.
Because Omicron's not scaring anybody, so they're, and it's to the point to what we were talking about with Steve earlier, sent us that fear mongering at its finest. One case to 4 cases.
Yeah.
That's what's
and it's tripling. Yeah.
All across the board. They're using this caseload shit again.
Yeah.
We were calling them out last year on this.
Oh yeah.
It's not deaths.
Yeah.
It's not deaths. They're reporting case
counts. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We understand people die from this. It's not ever a shot on that you shouldn't take your health seriously at all.
You should, but you shouldn't also, again, goes back to what we found in that 1918
pray
document,
at the altar of the media.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know anything.
Yeah, you shouldn't bow down to the media that basically wants you in a perpetual state of fear. What you do is you take your own stock, you do your own cost-benefit analysis, you decide whether or not you want to take the vaccine after consulting with a doctor. Because I love what you said earlier. It's like if you're going to put anything into your body, you got to make sure you talk to a doctor first. And I completely agree with you.
I would totally trust, my medical professional.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to because they're the ones that, big shout out to Dr. Page because he's the Two Noobs doctor. We refer most of this BS to him.
Yeah.
So he would tell us if it's got legs or not. Thank God he's there because he helps us through a lot.
No doubt. And he gave a great, episode 51. Maybe we'll throw that up there on the the card up there in the upper right corner of the screen.
Yeah, definitely. If you don't know who we are and you don't know what we're doing, you should definitely check out 51 and then check out anything that fucking Steve has done.
And go visit Steve's channel, Dr. IP. He's terrific.
Yeah. Terrific. We'll link that somewhere down there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe we will do that. Maybe post-production, I'll throw that in there. Why not? Give him some love. Johnny, let's move on to our happy here. And, as we close out episode 63 of Two Noobs, state of Kentucky really got hammered pretty good. In fact, Mayfield, Kentucky really got almost obliterated with this huge tornado that came in. And it was so sad to see the devastation and whatnot. But we have this one video of this guy who was like, you know what, I'm just going to go down and feed all these people. So let's go ahead and just play this because
I know they don't have no electricity, so that means they don't have no electricity, no restaurants, no running water. So I just figure I'd do what I can do. Show up with some food and some water. Trying to feed the people.
What are we cooking?
Hamburgers, chicken, I got sausage, eggs, just a little simple stuff that you can have and not have to worry about making a mess or grab and go type of food.
Are you from the area?
I was born in Paducah, but I came down here today from Clarksville.
You came out here just to cook for people? Wow. You have a restaurant or you?
No, sir. Just needed to be done.
That is Jim Finch in Mayfield, Kentucky, made the drive down and was feeding people, Johnny.
Yep.
Because it needed to be done. Beautiful words. Can't ask for any better than that, in the midst of all that devastation.
It's It needs to, like, that stuff needs to be done. We need to stop the bullshit.
Yep.
We need to stop the people like that, or the people that should be on the news.
100%.
These people should be covered, not these idiot pundits that talk about dumb shit, that push their own agendas or someone else's agendas.
Yep.
These are the people that need to be, like,
no doubt.
He looks just like me and you. He's got a little less than nothing, just trying to help a human.
He's got a truck and he can cook. So why not feed people that need food right now? I mean, brilliant. And I almost felt like going down there and getting some food from him, to be perfectly honest. Eggs, chicken, you got everything in there, burgers. I mean, come on.
I just wish more people would think the way he does.
Yeah.
It's way needed.
No doubt.
We need to curb a narcissistic society and find more of these people.
No doubt. So this is a definite Two Noobs shout out to Jim. And Jim, man, we want to thank you. John, I definitely want to thank you. And cheers to you. Nice done. Nicely done there, bud. For what you're doing down there, and the willingness to go down there to help people out in their time of need. Because there's no question, it's a time of need down there. Like, everything for what's been happening, with the tornado and houses being completely and utterly destroyed, he's down there helping out. You can't ask for any better than that, and that is amazing. And I'm so glad that we found that video and were able to play it, Johnny. And that's a challenge for everybody. That just like stop thinking of yourself and think of other people. And that dude is definitely doing that, which we
might help.
Yeah. So that's it, Johnny. We've hit the end of the episode. Episode 63 is finito as I wipe it off my whiteboard.
You don't have to think about it. Yay!
Hey, there you go.
All the shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs. Let's hit them up real quick, Johnny. What do you say? Let's do it.
The foremost trashed Facebook. We don't post anything on that, but we're on there. You can like us. Some people have.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. People have liked us.
There you go.
That's awesome. We're on Instagram. We get love daily on Instagram, which is good. I like that. TikTok, we're gaining followers. We're doing good. We need to get to that 1,000. We're not even close, but we need to get to that 1,000 so we can do some lives and entertain you guys. New
Year's resolution. Let's do that, Johnny.
If we get to 1,000, we can start entertaining you guys more than once a week. It'll be fun.
There you go.
And talk about some stuff that need to be talked about and get up there. But all those are short videos that kind of bring us back to.
Yep, it's coming in, Johnny. Hold on. There we go. All right, it's the YouTube channel, Two Noobs Talking Podcast, of course. Like the video. Yes. Subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell to get notified when our episodes drop. That way you get the views up, right? And then, of course, share that video. Send it out. And, of course, then I'm just going to go ahead and throw this over here. And on the audio side, Johnny.
We are hosted by Podbean.
There you go.
We are on Apple. We are on Google. We're on Spotify. It sucks. We're on we're Googleable. So you could just type us in Two Noobs Talking Podcast and it'll just pop up on your thing.
I got rid of the Spotify logo for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I hate it so much.
Love it.
And we got show notes.
Yeah, show notes are found twonoobstalking.wordpress.com, of course. And, if you go there, you can get the show notes automatically by entering in your email address and hit enter. Look at that right there.
These things, they'll be there.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great stuff. Hey, John, next week is going to be our Christmas episode. This thing's going to drop like a couple days before.
Yep.
But we're going to have a little bit of our holiday episode. We're probably going to just like off the cuff. We're not going to talk, I don't think, much news. I'm that's not my plan, Johnny. I don't know.
I mean, unless Joe Biden gets arrested.
Unless something is really breaking. Yeah, exactly.
That's our Two Noobs joke, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, stay tuned. It'll be our Christmas episode 2021. Maybe we'll look back on the year, take a look at some of the old episodes. Oh my God, can you imagine? We're going to look back at the old episodes. Oh.
We didn't know nothing about nothing.
We didn't know nothing about nothing. The editing was horrible and all that kind of stuff. Why not? Let's give it a shot. But yeah, stay tuned for that. But until then, talk to you all guys next week.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed. That's a great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be true anymore.